Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. Today, we're on the page of David Hoxha. Someone said they wanted to see him. I completely forgot about this guy even existing. He only actually did one season with us, basically, before being poached away by Roma. We still made 12 times our money on the deal, but if I recall, he had a bad personality, although it appears that not. I think they must have changed that over time. He's had a bit of a weird career since he went to Roma. He hasn't really played much for them, really. Did a season on loan at Twente, had a pretty poor time there. Did a season on loan in Serie B with Pro Vercelli. Did a bit better there, then came back to Roma, had a woeful time. Then went out on loan to Trabzonspor and probably had one of the best years of his career before moving to Guingamp over in the French league on a free transfer where he's been okay. This season he's done alright though, a few assists, probably having arguably, since he left us, the best season of his career, the 26-year-old Albanian. So if there's any other former players of ours that you can remember that you want me to check out as well, drop those in the comments too and I'll be sure to start on those. If you want a challenge in the Polish league, try to beat the top scorer record from 1927 when Henrik Raymond scored 37. Okay, that's going to be a challenge for us in this save as well. The most we've got, I think, so far is 24 with Zbigniew or Victor Hugo, I can't remember. But I think at some point, it's going to come a time. But then again, the other Polish teams could catch up too much. I don't really know. I think we might eventually get a striker that can do that kind of stuff for us. We'll have to see. If you're interested in getting your B team into the Polish leagues, just turn on Liga 3, did it now, and my B team plays in the lower leagues, Division Poland. Yeah, the problem with that is I'm not touching the leagues because I don't want what happened before where the fixtures don't generate properly to happen again. I'm just not going to touch it. I would do that, but I don't want to take that risk. At the end of the season that the Allsvenskan moved into 7th place in the coefficients in my Hammarby save, all the values went up astronomically. Yeah, I've heard about that. And we are very much on the cusp of doing that now. It's a three-way battle, really, between us, Portugal, and the Netherlands for 6th place as it happens. I feel like the season we get 7th might actually be the season that we get 6th as well, if we keep on the upward trajectory that we're on currently. Because they're both going to lose some really big years, and it's bringing them down as we're going up to meet them. So I think in the next couple of seasons, there is a conceivable chance that we could get into that 6th place, and that would be massive, because we'd get 2 automatic group stage spots and a 3rd Champions League spot. That would mean 6 teams in Europe. Brilliant stuff. Who's the best player you've ever had in any FM save? Bloody hell, I don't know. Norman Millington, probably up there. Marcelo Di Placido for Roma. Imran Baltam and Alessandro Salvi of Wimbledon, also absolute gods. Bruno Bridges, just because of the character. I feel like Bridges has probably been the best character I've ever had on an FM save. So much so that he still permeates throughout this one, despite only being the manager. And I feel like people will still talk about him in the next save I do. More goals conceded. Matt, you've conceded 11. You know how impossible that is. Don't complain. I will complain all I want. At the end of the day, if we conceded 11, and a previous season we conceded less than that, then clearly it is possible for us to get even less goals conceded. At the end of the day, it's all about marginal gains, and the less goals conceded, the better in my book. As long as we're scoring more, I don't really mind too much. But yeah, I always want to aim for the best. So today, we've got a couple of toughies. We've got 2 away trips, one to Paris to play against PSG, where, we were so unfortunate against them in the last game. I really think we deserved the win. It wasn't like we just had loads of shots from range. We did have some shots from range, but we created a lot of good opportunities and just could not, for the life of us, put one away, or put 2 away, more importantly. I don't know how we're going to do in the away, and then we've got to travel to Russia. The Russia game, we have to go and win in Russia. That is very, very important, just to wrap up 3rd and put the pressure on the other teams. But I think if we can get something against PSG, it really does rein them in still. But first, games off camera. First up, a nice cushy win at home against Lech Poznan. Decent in terms of chance created. They didn't really do a great deal, and 2 goals from Mateusz Saavedra. But look at Blaise Lisic in this match. He got an assist, but he created 3 chances in this game. People need to be starting to stick these in for Blaise. There's a reason he got so many assists last year, and I think this is where Henningsen's going to come in. Then in the cup, very comfortable performance. Lots of chances created. A hat-trick for Blaise Lisic, an own goal in there too. Svigawa scored a goal, but he also missed a pen, unfortunately. Then a heavily rotated team got a 0-0 draw away at Katowice. We've been getting a few too many draws for my liking this season. It's not great. Had some chances, but should have done better again. Yeah, I do think that I don't know. I don't really know what it is, but a 0-0 draw. We're still in front in the league, though. As you can see here, still 2 points clear at the top. Unbeaten in 53 league games, by the way, which is still an awful lot, but only 2 points clear in the league. So this year it's definitely a lot tighter. There's basically a 6-team breakaway league. I just noticed that. There's an 8-point gap between 6th and 7th. Maybe Katowice will finally have a chance to get into the Championship group this year. They are looking a bit better. Legia, however, looking like garbage, probably because of their Champions League performance. But it is amazing to see how the top 6 have basically completely broken away from the rest of the league and are forming our own little mini-league. Interesting. Lisic's still up there on the average rating, but he's the only player that's really putting in consistent shifts for us this season. And we do need to look at that. But right now, what we need to look at is PSG. So, Martino out, Luis Felipe out, and a few players unregistered. Obviously, we've got a slight issue in the fact that Ivanov can't play. Goldan is ineligible as well, and some players unregistered. That's fine. Diego Simeone managing PSG now. But it is a very, very tight group at the moment, and I just want to make sure that we don't... If we don't lose, that'll be brilliant, because it will keep them reined in, and we've got a much better goal difference than everybody else in this group. Juventus, you feel, will probably smash CSKA later, but we'll see. We've played PSG 7 times, and we've never won. We've lost 4 times and drawn 3 times. We just... One day we'll get that victory. It's kind of like when we were waiting to get that win over Legia. Right, quick pick. Everybody should be fully rested here. Grandi... I'm concerned about him, in all honesty. We're going to bring Zviggy back in, of course. So Lisic, Gorosito, Zvigawa, Saavedra, I'm going to rest out for Henningsen again. Orozco and Silva back in. Who do we go with here? We can't go with Ivanov, so it's going to be Chabal or Olivier. Chabal could probably do the rest, so Alain Olivier is back in. Poirier and Freitas, Albarracin, and Iglesias or Franceschi. Probably... Who has played better this season so far out of these two? Neither of them has been great, but again, Franceschi just slightly edging it. So on the bench, we're going to go with Saavedra, Idshak, Caro, Triverio, Rosa, Shebal, and Grandi. Like, the original plan was going to be to do what we've done in the past, where we go to cautious and just extend the passing range. But given how well we played against them in that first game, I wonder if we've got what it takes to actually go toe-to-toe this time. But I've made that mistake before. No, I'm not going to make that mistake again. We're going to go cautious. If we do go behind, then we'll switch it up to chase the game. But I want to try and maintain a tighter approach today. But we are going to up the passing directness and the tempo, just to make sure that we've got those options today. I think Lisic is going to be stupidly important. These 3 here are very, very important. Lisic, Gorosito, and Henningsen. Alrighty then. No other games. Well, one other game taking place. The Juve CSKA game is later, so we really need to set our stall out nice and early. No way. Get out to him, make the block. Good stuff. Just survive the early stages and we'll work our way into the game, hopefully, and see how much possession we get, even though we're playing on cautious. How are we allowed to stand in front of the throw like that? To me, that's a bit cheeky. Nestor with the header on. Junquera. Oh, god damn it. Good save from Franceschi. But again, the clearance headers are back. This happened last time as well. So one thing I noticed heavily during the games last season is, once we got to this sort of stage in the group stages, the clearance headers just got... Look at this! I don't understand why that's happening. I genuinely don't. This is the exact same thing that happened in those games we buggered up last year. All of a sudden, every clearance header would fall directly to them. Is it because of their press or something? Could do with some lads getting back if they feel like it, you know. Clearance headers again. Junquera. No way. I don't know what to tell you anymore. It's the patterns are so bleeding obvious in these matches. You can almost tell from 2 minutes in whether you're going to do well or not, because the players will just start heading the ball aimlessly to others. That's a great finish from Noé, by the way, but you can already see it coming. It's 1-0 PSG and we trail. Good lord. I'm going to turn on play out of defence. But at the end of the day, we should have won the first game against them. Like, there's no excuse for not winning that match. It's just classic FM stuff. Lisic, headed away, knocked down. Oh, it's in the back of the net! Brian Gorosito's got the equaliser. I don't know what's happened there. Gorosito has levelled things up at the Parc des Princes. His 8th goal of the season. He's actually our top goal scorer this season and thoroughly deserves it. Lisic with a lovely ball in. It's cleared away, headed back by Orozco, and wow, the keeper's completely mucked that up there, and Flappy Bird has now moved to Paris. It's 1-1. I'm very concerned about where we go from here. Noé just looks like he could run straight through us, unfortunately. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, well, this is what happens when you don't turn up in the first game against them. I mean, they just seem so... Yeah, they're just running straight through us, unfortunately. Nobody's marking anybody up. Great first-time strike from Martino. Franceschi's nowhere near it, and it's 2-1 to them, and they deserve the lead, to be honest. Zvigawa. Oh, bends it wide. I do wonder if we can get in down those wide areas, maybe. It's not been a good performance so far. Right, just bring that down. Why are you heading the ball? I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of it. It's so freaking frustrating because you know that they're going to end up scoring a goal off the end of it, practically. There we go. That's more like it. Find Henningsen. There we go. Get... Lisic. Go on, son. Have a little run at them. Finds Gorosito. Goes past one. Can he slip it through for someone? Finds Henningsen instead. Can he slip it through for someone? And Gorosito's blasted it wide. Good chance. Oh, dear. They've been the better side in the first half. Gorosito got us back into it, but we just can't seem to defend. You can see every single long ball where there'll be nobody around the player, and they just needlessly head it directly back to them, and I don't know what instruction I can give on them to not do that. You can tell. They only do it in certain games. Hukali. Oh, God. Albert. Back post goal. Surely. No, cleared away. Okay. No way. I'll better try again. How? Oh my God. Ah, dearie me. It's amazing. Look, they've had one little tiny opportunity and they've managed to score 3 goals. We created tons of stuff in the first game against them and couldn't finish to save our lives. It's a great ball in from Albert, but it's such a deep ball. Franceschi should not be letting that in from there. Well, we're going to lose 3-1. in the Parc de France against PSG. God. It's the same every year, isn't it? First game, play brilliantly, don't get what you deserve. Second leg, play averagely. Yeah, I don't know. Just one of those things, isn't it, really? Right, moving on. We've got a lot of work to do, and we've got to go to Russia and make that shit happen now. Right then, we're back. And, yeah, we beat Wisła 6-1. I've been experimenting with some stuff in the off-camera games. Not in this one, actually, but in the other one, making a slightly different tactic without the DM to push us up to make us more attack-minded. Because I think the issue we're getting is that we're getting a lot of shots, a lot of possession, but we're not very able to fashion them into too many great chances. And I think it's because we're playing the game too slowly. So I wanted to make a different approach for really sort of winnable games that could try and get us a bit more of an edge. So I'll show you that. But also, I've got some other ideas I want to put in there. But we still got a 6-1 victory, though. Carroll grabbed a goal. Gorosito got a goal. Waterberg scored. Grandi got a pair. There was an own goal in there. Really solid performance from the lads. I then tried out the new sort of approach in the next match against Sandica, and we got ourselves a 6-1 victory. Again, back-to-back 6-1s. Not too bad. We were a bit fortunate, in all honesty, to win this one as much as we did. Idshak got a goal. 2 for Jacobo Garcia. 1 for Grandi. 2 for Gorosito. But you could see that we went to a sort of classic 4-2-3-1 type of style, pushing up the DM into the centre of midfield as a box-to-box midfielder, moving the other lad up top as well. But I want to try and up the tempo for this one. I think that's going to be how we're going to approach this, with fast, quick tempo play to get the ball through teams a bit more with this style of play. But we're going to try that in some of the slightly weaker games and sort of build that up, because I think it would give us an approach to games we absolutely need to win, because we need backup option. But for today, it's all about PSG. We're playing the sorry, not PSG, against Siska. First game of the night for us. We technically need a draw to wrap up third spot, and I actually wonder if third spot might be the best we can hope for this time around, because it's a really tough situation. If PSG go and win, and we win, we'll go into that final day against Juventus being in front of them in points, meaning that we'd only need a draw at home to them to get through in second spot. But I kind of wonder if third place and a crack at the Europa League after Christmas might not be such a bad thing, because if we were to win the Europa League, firstly, loads of coefficient points, and secondly, we'd be pot 1 for the Champions League the following year, which might actually give us the leg up that we need. Who knows? Legia are away at PSV Eindhoven in the late kickoff. That's huge. If they can get a point there, I think they'll be set, because PSV have to play has to play Barca on the final day, so that could be very, very interesting. But we're not going to play this shape today. This is what I did, basically. We just moved the AM role into the centre, as you can imagine, made it attacking, moved that into the centre as well, and pushed up the DM into a box-to-box midfield role. That's the only changes I made, basically. I'm still unsure as to what I actually want to do with it, but I think it's going to help us in these games. Not going to use it for today, because I'm not sure about it just yet, so we'll do a quick pick. So we don't want Carroll. Oh yeah, another bad thing. Lisik got injured in training, so he's going to miss today's game. Very, very unfortunate, which means I think it's basically going to have to be Zvegawa that's going to have to play there. So Grandi will be up top. Gorosito, and I want Henningsen in there as well. Orozco and Silva is fine. Do I want Ivanov, or do I want anyone else? I kind of want Chabal. He's been really good. Albarracin, Freitas and Poirier, and of course my man Franceschi. On the bench we're going to go with Saavedra, Ivanov, Carroll, Triverio, Pandorovic, Garcia, and of course Andrea Sepe. We really do just need to go out here, pile on the misery, get the win, move on to 8 points so we can go into that final game of the group at home to Juventus with a bit more of a clear idea about what we need to do. We'll just have to sort of see how the game settles down before we decide what kind of strategy we want to take on. For all we know, by the time we get to the half an hour point, we're starting to dominate and we might be in front, but we'll see. Zvegawa. We really are going to miss Lisik out there. He's such a dynamic player out wide. I wish we'd registered Waterberg now. Grande. Inside for Albarracin of all people, and he's gone for goal, and that's a good strike. We're starting to look a lot better now. Chabal need a good cross now. Loads of space. Can he find one? Zvegawa heads that against the post. Honestly, if we're still in trouble at like 70 minutes, I might actually switch to the other system. We'll just have to see. Henningsen. We just need a ball to the back post, but Zviggy doesn't make the runs often enough. That's the issue. Zviggy's through! Yes, he's put it! Zviggy doesn't make the runs often enough, he says, just as Mateusz Zvegawa gets in there and gives us an absolutely crucial lead away in Russia. I think we've deserved it on the balance of things, though, but this is what we needed. A bit more expansive play. Henningsen doing his job. Lovely ball to the back post. Defended us really poorly, but Zviggy, this is an excellent piece of play from him. Lovely finish from Zvegawa. 7th of the season from him, and we've got the lead in Russia. Huge moment. What I would say about our style of play is that, generally speaking, against the worst teams, like the teams from the league we're actually in, generally speaking, we struggle to create good quality actual chances. And, oh, good save. But we still generally get the wins. It generally seems to, though, to get good chances created, numbers in terms of them, against better teams in Europe. So I think it means that we're just not able to, because the teams in the league are just sitting so deep against us, it's a struggle for us, whereas in Europe they're more expansive. Big header down, and Poirier will pick that up. Find Saavedra. Here we go. Bit of space now. Find that run of the back post. He's going all the way through. Carroll! Oh my goodness, Carroll getting in there. It's 2-0, and that wraps up the game very nicely. Some more coefficient points for us. Puts us on to 8 points in the Champions League. it could have been so much different as well. We could have been on 10 right now with a lovely home win against PSG. But this is really nice from Saavedra. Just keeps on running and eventually just rolls it into the path of Karol, who grabs his 3rd goal of the season. I think he's actually got more goals. No, he's not got any goals for Poland, but he has got 5 caps. Go on, Zviggy's making the run. He's actually in acres of space here. Grandi sits inside for Karol again and saved by Matrushkin. Maximov. Oh, it's in! Mikhail Maximov puts it top corner. I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. It's a great goal, but as usual, we don't close people down, and Zvigawa couldn't win a header even though he's 6'6". It's amazing. Yeah, they just get the ball into this area and they just lose their man, basically. Not that it mattered, because Maximov's strike is a wonderful goal. 2-1 here. It shouldn't matter overall, though. We are going to hopefully get the victory. And there we go. 2-1 win in Russia. Thoroughly deserved the night. We created some decent opportunities, which is nice to see, and got ourselves the victory. Karol and Zviggy, 2 homegrown lads, getting the goals. Good stuff. So amazingly, that PSG result earlier was the only defeat in any competition we've had so far this season. And I do think I'm going to try out that approach of having a different tactic for the league, basically, and see how it does over the next 3 matches and report back, basically, because I want to see us scoring a few more goals in the league and fashioning a few more chances. We still look decent in Europe. We've got 8 points on the board. We have to hope that Juventus lose to PSG. That would be a real kick in the teeth if they didn't, and then we just have to get a draw on the final day to get ourselves through in 2nd spot. We're still doing all right now. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like on the video. That would be glorious, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.